The township of Tiny has an estimated population of around 13,000 people. Tiny's population nearly doubles in the summer due to tourism and seasonal residents. The majority of the population identifies with European origins, such as English, Scottish, and Irish. Visible minority groups have a smaller presence: Chinese, Black, and Filipino. The township has deep French roots, with a significant wave of French immigrants from Quebec settling in the area in the 19th century, particularly around the community of La Fontaine. English is spoken at home by the vast majority of the population, around 92.6%. French is spoken at home by a minority of the population, around 2.8%. Tiny is a designated area under the Provincial French Language Services Act, which means that residents have the right to receive services in French from all provincial government ministries. The municipal office and some local programs also provide services in both English and French. The community of La Fontaine in Tiny still hosts an annual festival celebrating francophone culture. The history of Tiny Beaches Road is tied to the broader history of Tiny Township. This area's development as a popular vacation destination grew significantly in the 1950s and 1960s, leading to the creation of subdivisions like the one at Balm Beach in 1970, which helped shape the current community. Fall in Tiny, Ontario generally runs from mid-September to late October/early November, with peak fall colors often occurring from late September through the first couple of weeks of October, offering vibrant foliage in nearby Awenda Provincial Park and the surrounding Georgian Bay area, ideal for hiking and enjoying coastal views before the winter chill sets in. Jackson Park is located at Point Yarwood on Doust Bay in Tiny Township. The area was subdivided as part of Balm Beach by Octave Pilon in 1931. The park is located in Plan 776 as lots 1 to 5. At the time, the Ontario government was building docks on the Great Lakes, and they constructed one on Point Yarwood. Mr. Burns was the first to own a boat, and he built a small store on the dock. He was also a fisherman. Edward R. Ted Jackson owned the marina on the point. When Jackson was ready to sell his property, he took the lesser offer from the woman who owned the store at Wimblewood. He made this deal with the township of Tiny because they agreed to name the park after him. Jackson Park still remains at the point today, although the dock has been torn down. It was deeded to the township of Tiny in 1987, who maintain the approximately 3-acre lot. County Road 6, north, in Tiny, Ontario, is a historic route that developed from early settlement trails. The area around it was once known as King's Mill, later renamed Randolph after the mill's owner, before the post office was established in 1885. The town of Perkinsfield, originally named St. Patrick, is also located at the intersection of County Road 6 North and Balm Beach Road. Today, the road is a modern county road that runs through the township of Tiny, a community known for its shoreline and natural areas. The township was named in 1822 after a pet dog of Lady Sarah Maitland, 1972 to 1873, wife of Sir Peregrine Maitland, Lieutenant Governor of Upper Canada. 2 other adjoining townships were also named for her pet dogs, Tay and Floss, now Springwater Township. Township was a significant area for the Huron Confederacy, Wendat, with the 17th century ossuary at Ossassane being an important archaeological site. The area was the site of a major Huron Feast of the Dead in 1636. Etienne Brulé is believed to have been the first European to see the area in 1610. The British government purchased land in the area in 1798 and later established a naval base at Penetanguishene. In the mid-19th century, families from Quebec began to settle in the area, drawn by fertile and inexpensive farmland. The township was officially established as the Corporation of the United Townships of Tiny and Tay in 1850, with Tiny and Tay separating in 1868. The railroad in the 1870s facilitated further farming and settlement in the peninsula's northwestern region. The Tiny Township name was officially approved in 1950, based on the First Nations word Twanch, meaning good landing place. The history of Peekaboo Trail, Teepee Point Park in Tiny, Ontario, is rooted in local Indigenous heritage, as suggested by the teepee-shaped formations that inspired the park's name. The park's name, Teepee Point, comes from natural teepee-shaped rock formations, which connected to the area's rich Indigenous history. Today, Peekaboo Trail is a popular trail, and Teepee Point is a well-regarded park, especially for its dog-friendly amenities. Tiny Township boasts over 70 kilometers of shoreline, is home to Awenda Provincial Park, go-karting, a mini-putt, an arcade, a multitude of cycling and hiking trails, a plethora of farms and growers, a rich culture and heritage, and unique shops and dining experiences. Samuel de Champlain, born around 1567, was a French explorer, cartographer, and colonizer known as the Father of New France for his crucial role in establishing French settlements in North America. He founded Quebec City in 1608, a key permanent settlement, and made extensive explorations of the St. Lawrence River, the Atlantic coastline, the Great Lakes, and regions of the interior. He also built strategic alliances with Indigenous peoples, which were essential for the survival and expansion of the colony. The area that includes Saw Log Bay was historically part of Wendake, the land of the Wendat, Huron people, prior to European contact. By the 1700s, as the Wendat population was dispersed by disease and conflict, the Ojibwe people began to move into the area. The land was formally acquired by the British Crown through two treaties with the Ojibwe: the Penetanguishene Bay Purchase in 1798, the Lake Simcoe Lake Huron Purchase in 1815, which ceded the remaining part of what is now Tiny Township. Saw Log Bay is part of the area that is now known as Tiny Township. The name Saw Log Bay likely comes from the sheer volume of saw logs that were processed and transported from the bay's shores. As logging grew, it spurred development in the region, attracting families who became involved in the lumber business. Many of these families were prominent figures in Simcoe County and the surrounding area. John Gosman, the original surveyor of Tiny in the 1820s, was paid with shoreline lots. However, the first 66 feet, 20 meters, from the waterline were reserved as crown land for public use, a historical precedent often cited by beach rights advocates. Cottagers and residents raised concerns during 2021 debates when a specific 10-acre beachfront property, advertised as having 657 feet of shoreline, was put up for sale. The community advocated for the land to remain a public space. In March 2025, the Township of Tiny finalized the acquisition of an 8.26-acre property in the Saw Log Bay area, including land at the intersection of Champlain Road, Clearwater Crescent, and Saw Log Point Road. This acquisition includes over 207 meters of new, publicly owned waterfront. The purchase was split into two parcels. Block B was purchased for $4.5 million, and Block C was donated by Municipal Investments Limited. The acquisition's goal is to increase public beach access in the Saw Log Bay area. The donation of Block C was made by the Axler family, who wanted to ensure the land was stewarded by the township rather than a developer. A dedication in the name of Joseph Axler and the Axler family will forever dedicate the waterfront to the residents, notes AureliaMatters.com. Awenda Provincial Park in Tiny offers year-round outdoor activities like hiking, biking, swimming at Georgian Bay beaches, canoeing Kettle Lake, fishing, birdwatching, and winter cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, plus camping, nature programs, and stargazing, with nearby attractions including Discovery Harbor and Ste. Marie among the Hurons. Concession Road 16 in Tiny, Ontario, is historic because it was one of the first areas settled by French Canadian and Métis voyageurs after leaving Drummond Island in 1828. The British built Fort Drummond, but ceded the island to the U.S. in 1828, leading to the military post's abandonment and the relocation of its French Canadian and Métis inhabitants to Penetanguishene. The first house on the 16th lot of the 16th concession was built by Louis Deschenaux in 1830, and a second wave of settlers from Quebec arrived in 1841. The legend of the Wolf of LaFontaine involves a wolf that caused a reign of terror in 1902 by killing livestock, which eventually prompted the local inhabitants to band together to hunt and defeat the wolf. The story is commemorated with an annual festival held each July, which celebrates the region's francophone heritage through arts and cultural events. The LaFontaine area was settled in the early 19th century by French Canadian and Métis immigrants who were former voyageurs and their families. The name du Loup is deeply rooted in the area's cultural identity, as seen in the festival and the community's shared history. West Shore Drive in Tiny, Ontario, is a stretch of Georgian Bay shoreline, part of the historic Penetanguishene area. West Shore Drive, particularly around LaFontaine, holds significant Métis history, linked to the Drummond Island migration. More recently, West Shore Drive features modern cottages and waterfront properties, blending historical roots with contemporary living, though controversies arise over demolishing historic buildings. Cedar Point, in Tiny Township, Ontario, was vital to the Huron-Wendat people, with archaeological evidence of villages like Tondakia, meaning where the land disappears. In 1615, Samuel de Champlain first landed in Huronia near Cedar Point, potentially at the village site of Toanche, or Karaguha, marking Ontario's first European contact. The point was known by indigenous names, then Point Itondatratius, 1600s, and Glover Point, 1864, before becoming Cedar Point by 1880. By the 1950s, families began summering at Cedar Point, leading to the formation of the Cedar Point Cottagers Association to manage the area between the Christian Island ferry dock and Marks Point. Cedar Point faces Christian, Beckwith, and Hope Islands across Georgian Bay. Melissa Lane in Tiny, Ontario, is a prestigious Georgian Bay waterfront street known for luxury, custom-built homes, often featuring large lots, west-facing views, and direct beach access, with properties like massive log estates and architect-designed retreats, making it an exclusive area for high-end recreational or permanent living, just minutes from Toronto. The Ontario undeveloped Crown land for new settlers was first surveyed into townships, which were then divided into lots and concessions before being allocated. This created the grid-like pattern of straight, parallel roads seen today. The term concession comes from the land being conceded, granted, by the Crown to individual applicants. To receive the land title, settlers were typically required to build a house, perform road work, clear the land, and make a monetary payment. Road allowances were generally laid out at a standard width of 66 feet. Many roads still retain their original concession road names, often numbered sequentially within a township. The history of Tiny Beaches Road is tied to the broader history of Tiny Township. This area's development as a popular vacation destination grew significantly in the 1950s and 1960s, leading to the creation of subdivisions like the one at Pennorth Beach in 1970, which helped shape the current community. Throughout the mid to late 20th century, conflicts arose as private property owners, cottagers, and beach associations claimed ownership to the water's edge, often believing their registered deeds granted them this right. The Ministry of Natural Resources, MNR, sometimes declared these private lands as Crown land, leading to significant legal battles, including a major test case in the 1990s, the Roundtree case. In June 1990, the Attorney General for Ontario started a lawsuit against the Roundtree Beach Association, RBA, and 14 waterfront owners regarding ownership of a strip of beach land. The Attorney General did not win the lawsuit. The trial judge found that the township lots were surveyed to the water's edge and that the land in question was part of the original property grants. The court stamped the Roundtree property deeds as valid. The case was not appealed further by the AG. Tiny LaFontaine Beach Park, a popular public beach within the township of Tiny, has a history rooted in its natural beauty, its use as a busy recreation spot, and recent efforts to manage its shoreline and water quality. Over time, decreased water levels and the lack of maintenance made the beach less attractive. Finer sediments and organic matter accumulated in the shallow waters. LaFontaine Beach Park is one of 5 large township parks on the western shoreline that comprise the township of Tiny's major open space system and is designated as a primary recreational parkland. The nearby hamlet of LaFontaine, originally settled by French-speaking immigrants from Quebec in the 19th century and named Sainte Croix, was later renamed in honor of statesman Louis Hippolyte Lafontaine.